We're here at the Institute of Philosophy for I Didn't Know Philosophers Did That. It's an event introducing state school students to topics that they might be surprised to learn are things philosophers think and write about. Topics such as mental health, food and drink, rap music and video games, and even natural disasters. The aim of I Didn't Know Philosophers Did That is to inspire state school students to think about studying philosophy when the time comes for them to apply to university.
In my talk, we explored ordinary things such as food as philosophers of language. We talked about the plasticity of language, fuzzy concepts and lexical effects, which is how words make you feel. I introduced them to conceptual engineering, and we looked at some case studies that are in my PhD. We also discussed truth in the context of companies writing written evidence for government inquiries, and we asked whether distraction and disinformation can arise despite a speaker only using truthful statements.
I've talked to a group of students about the topics of mental health, specifically about the question of how we should define mental illness, some of Descartes' arguments and some of the recent debates that have been going on in the philosophy of psychiatry. And I hope I could give them a little impression of how it would be to study philosophy at university level.
We just gave a lecture on the ethics of video games and the criminalisation of drill music.
We were really interested to hear the perspectives of high school students about whether they're worried about these media and talk about how philosophy can help address some of these societal issues.
My seminar today was centered around two key questions. What is personality? How do we define personality? Can it be defined in terms of types or traits? And then the second question was more epistemological and methodological. What are the key approaches that we can use in order to measure personality? These include psychometrics, empirical psychology, and more contemporary instruments such as AI.
Today we spoke to Dr. Daisy Dixon, a lecturer at the University of Cardiff.
We spoke with her about what it's like to be a philosopher and her work on dangerous art and what to do about it.
My seminar today discussed how the term natural disasters is actually a misnomer. It's rather misleading and apportions blame and responsibility to natural factors rather than anthropogenic factors that cause natural hazards like earthquakes and landslides to become disasters.
My seminar today was about the metaphysical question of whether you could have been different and whether you could have had a different origin, and what does that actually mean?
So I think the benefit of a day like today for my students is that it really allows them to encounter philosophy perhaps for the first time. In many ways their only real understanding of philosophy comes through the guise of religious studies. And while that's a useful way of getting into philosophy, it certainly isn't the extent of it. And so having a day where they can encounter questions and the range of topics that philosophers really think about maybe allows them to fully think about what philosophers do and helps them pose some of their own questions as well.